What is up YouTube? My name is Lance and I'm back with another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be going over and explaining how I edit and record my videos. The program I use is called iMovie. It's completely free for all Apple users. Yes, you can use it on your phone, and that's how I used to edit before I got my MacBook. If you learned something new or want to support me, the best way is to subscribe and leave a like. I upload daily and I'm on the road to 500 subs, so if you could do that for me, I'd be forever grateful. Before I make this intro too long, let's get right into the video. Alright, so one of the first things that we're going to do is figure out what clips we want to add into iMovie, so that way we can begin editing the video. I tend to use, it's called xboxclips.co. Here's the web link, I'll leave it in the description below. But basically, once you type in your gamer tag, it'll bring up all the clips that you have saved to Xbox Live. If it's saved to OneDrive, I do not believe it'll pop up here, so make sure when you upload your clips, you do upload it to Xbox Live. So the first clip I want to upload is probably going to be this one. Close that out real quick. Now, once you click on it, all you got to do is double click, and it'll pop you up with this menu, and I hit download video. What it'll do is it'll pop up here and start downloading. Once it is complete, you want to open up your iMovie or whatever recording software editing you're using. And now that it's complete, what you're going to want to do is click on it and drag it over. It will also pop up inside your Finder, so if you want to go to your recent downloads, it'll be right here up top. I'm just going to drag it in real quick. Now it pops up right here. Basically, at this point, what you're going to want to do is figure out what music you want into your songs. Now, what I normally use to download music that is non-copyright is I use mp3juices.cc. Basically, what you do is you type in the URL or the name of whatever song you want to use, and then it'll pop you up with a list of the suggested. Once it pops you up with the list, there will be a little black button that'll say download, and it'll give you like a play button or a save as button. You want to go ahead and click download, and it'll pop up right here at the top like the other videos did. And then once it downloads, it goes straight to your iTunes, so it'll show up on here, and you'll be able to drag it into your iMovie, whatever. Like there's my Super Mario sound effect, Street Fighter, perfect sound. This is what I use to add all of my audio to my videos for the memes and green screens and stuff like that. Now, if you do want your videos to include your audio, the best way I would say for doing it free is through Twitch. You basically record on Xbox, and then whenever it asks you in the party, would you like to include your audio, your tribe mates can either include it, or whoever's in the party, it'll pop up in the settings. Most of the time, only like 1 or 2 people will do it, but it's still cool to be able to hear some of your tribe mates' comms during PvP. Now that we have the video in here, I already have some music that I have selected, so I'm just going to minimize that. You can download whatever music you want to use. I would recommend non-copyright music, so that way you don't get a strike. Once you get your music that you want to do, you just add it down below. And then you could either make the audio higher, lower, depending on if you're going to be talking in your video or if it's just going to be gameplay highlights. So once you've added your music to whatever video or clip you want to add and edit to, the next thing that I always do is add the intro and outro to the end and beginning of my videos. I put them in the same clip, so that way I can just go here, and then this is what it normally looks like, the file. And then it goes straight into the next one. So what I normally do is I'll hit pause. I'll zoom in so that way I can get way more precise editing. And then as soon as it clicks over to the white screen, normally right here, I'll split the clip. I'll take this clip, I'll put it at the very end. And then wherever my video ends at, I'll normally crop out the rest of the music. You can go here and then make it so it pans out and it gets quieter over time as it goes into the next clip. So as you can see, over time it slowly gets quieter, and it makes for smoother transitions in between songs and clips. I use this a lot. Almost every single audio music that I add to my videos, I always add it so that way it gets higher and lower towards the end. I just feel like, me personally, that makes it feel a little more clean. So one of the big questions that people always ask me is, how do I add the green screens into my videos? And honestly, the easiest way to do it is to download the green screen that you want, figure out where you want to put it, and then you just add it right above the actual clip. You're going to want to click on it, and you're going to want to hit green/blue screen. And what that does is it takes away anything blue or green that they see in the top clip. So whenever you go to play the video, it'll only show the things that are not blue or green on that clip. So if I started from the beginning, as you can see, the green isn't there, but it still shows the clip that's not in green screen. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the basics of it. I can get into a few more advanced techniques that I use. So for the transitions, a lot of times I'll use cross blur because it takes the beginning, or it takes the end of the first clip and the beginning of the second clip, and it kind of merges them together. As you can see, it kind of faded into the next clip. Another one that I use a lot is cross blur, and that just makes it way more smoother for the transitions. That one looked a little scuffed because it was lagging a little bit, but you kind of get what I'm saying. I gotta move this back here so that way it's even. There we go, that looks a little bit better. So yeah, when people ask me how do I edit my videos, how do I record and everything, basically what I do is I go to Xbox Clips, download the clips I want. I go to Twitch, download whatever stream I want if I want to include the audio. If I want to add more music, memes, or whatever, I go here. If you want to download the green screens, the best way to do it is come here, type in memes, Google Drive. You'll get a few that'll pop up, and you find one with no watermark, click on it. And normally when you scroll down into the description, it'll give you a Google Drive link that you can click on and download whatever meme you want to download. Like right here, let's say I want to download, I don't know. It'll bring you to a Google Drive clip, and then once you see that pop up, you just hit download. And then as soon as it downloads, it'll pop up on your screen. So yeah, if at any point I ever wanted to use that into a video, all I gotta do is go to Finder, pull up my iMovie, and then I gotta go to Recents, and it'll be right there. And then I could just add it right to the end or beginning of whatever clip I want. If I wanted it to be at the end, I just add it in between. If I want it to be over the top of the clip, so basically if I want it to stop showing what I'm doing and I want it to play the clip, you just put it on top. And then a lot of times what I'll do is if I only want the audio of the clip that I'm adding, I will hit split clip again, so that way it cuts off this little bit from the rest of the video. And then now I'm just able to edit this little bit right here. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take the audio completely out, so that way you only hear the clip's audio in between the clip. And then as soon as the clip's done, you hear the Bloodstalker jumping again. And that way you don't have the audio from both clips interfering with each other or having to go over each other. Another editing technique that I do is I'll add a freeze frame, so that way I can zoom in on the chat of whatever's there. So let's say I wanted to see the chat of, or zoom in on the chat of whatever it says. You want to go add freeze frame. I go here and I click split clip, go to the end of the freeze frame, click it, hit split clip, and then now you have a perfectly standstill video for however long you want. If you want it longer or shorter, all you got to do is drag this little bar, make it 1 second, or you can make it 10 seconds if you really wanted to. Normally I leave mine right around 5 seconds because that gives people enough time to read what the clip says and not be there for too long. Now what you're going to want to do is go to crop and go to crop to fill. What this does is it makes it so whenever you go to the clip, it only shows what's in this little area. So if I want to only show the global chat, I'll make it fit just to the right size. Now the more you zoom in, the less the quality will be, because this is the best quality at 1080p. Once you zoom in, it makes it turn to like 720p just from the way it has to expand it. So you hit enter and now it pops up. So whenever I hit play, it'll stop for a second, show the chat, and then it'll go immediately right back into the clip. Now let's say you wanted it to zoom in on the chat and then slowly back out, or if you wanted it to slowly zoom into the chat, it's just as easy. All you're gonna do is hit crop to right here and hit Ken Burns. Now wherever the start screen is where it's going to start at. Let's say you want it to zoom in. You're going to put the in screen to go over whatever you want it to zoom in on, and then hit enter. Now when it starts, it'll slowly pan into whatever you want it to. So that's how you get the zoom in effect. If you want to get the zoom out effect, it's the exact opposite. So you're going to go to your Ken Burns and you're going to make the start screen super small, and then you're going to make the end screen super big, so that way it goes from small to bigger. So come here, click on the start, drag it to where I need, hit enter, and now it's going to go from zoomed in to zoomed out. You can adjust the speed that it does that at by going here, going here. Titles are a big thing. I always add titles to all of my videos. I'm trying to work on making subtitles a little more, how do I explain it, like clean whenever they pop up on your screen. But for the most part, the ones I use is soft edge, and if you want to add it, you just drag it and click, and then it pops up wherever it's preset to. Normally I do pop up lower third, and I do reveal lower third, because those are kind of at the bottom, out of the way, and you're able to read what it says. So right here, whatever I had written down, you just hit space to play and it'll pop up at the bottom. Now let's say you wanted the fade effect to stay there longer. You just drag it to however long you want. So now it'll stay there for a little bit longer, as you can see. Now let's say you wanted to change the font. It's super easy. Just double click it. It's going to pop you up here. You can either make it bigger, smaller, just like a Google Drive. You can change the font of it, make it bold. You can make it slanted. You can do whatever you want. You can make it centered if that's where you want the title to be. It's super easy. iMovie is definitely one of my favorite things to edit with. I've used a couple different softwares for it, but this is definitely the most basic, but still able to do a lot of advanced features. So normally once I have the entire video edited out, all of the green screens lined up where I want them to, I normally rewatch it and start doing like fine print things. Like let's say I didn't want that little bit inside the video, so I cut that out. Let's say I wanted to add where the beat drops and the next clip starts, but it's a little bit off. Let me find out where a good spot is. So yeah, let's say I wanted it to end right here and go into the next clip. What I would do is I would zoom in and find out exactly where the beat ends at. So that way you could put this right next to it, and as soon as the beat ends, it'll go into the next clip. I feel like that makes for way smoother transitions whenever you change it on the beat, Mostly for clips like this, I won't add a transition just because the quick changeover to the next clip looks way cleaner than adding a transition that doesn't line up with the beat drop of the music. And then yeah, basically once you got the video completely edited, you just come up here. You can either save it however you want. I tend to save it to my computer and then upload it to YouTube after. You can adjust what kind of quality, what you want to name it, where you want the description of it to be, like everything is right here. And then you can rewatch your video if you want to, make sure everything's correct. And then you just hit next. It'll ask you where you want to save the file to. You could either save it on your desktop, your files, your recents. I always just save it on my desktop, so as soon as it downloads, I see it right there on my screen. And then once that is finished downloading, all you gotta do is upload it to YouTube, add your ending frames. Like as you can see, whenever I come here, it doesn't like automatically show up my suggested videos or watch next. You gotta do that in the actual YouTube uploading, like where it asks you to add your ends and your I think they're called cards, where like a little thing will pop up at the top of your screen when you're watching the video, and it'll either say something or give you a link to a different video. A lot of times when people are talking about something else, they'll leave a link to the video in a little card that'll pop up here. It should look something like this.
I trap into the bloody bottles on the knee, cause all my niggas got it out the street. I keep 100 racks inside my jeans. I remember